Thursday. Excellent. Thank you so much. And get going there. Great. Want to follow up today with the major markets. Start there. Give a shout out everybody in the chat. Welcome. A little late today. I said 11:30. It's 11:50 now. Just subscribe. You'll catch it between 11 and 12. And for those, just a shout out to all those that are listening at a later time. Absolutely looks like we've got a great crowd that are catching it after work or over the weekend. And, I think the recordings are definitely been helpful. Today I'm going to bust through a few things, but, also open it up to everybody. This will be the last open session. I'm going to make some changes now starting next week. Actually, starting Saturday for gold members, we're going to do a Saturday strategy session. Today being the 27th, that'll be the 29th. Be about a 1 hour look at some techniques, some strategies, some things we do in these sessions, but maybe a little more detailed and looking at specifics off the software to a level that's maybe really best for those that have the software, have experience. Those are mostly gold members, so that'll be Saturday, 12 noon. Quick shout out. Thank you, everybody. Let's take just 1 second. Give us risk disclaimer. Also, I know that I'm not running a full screen, so I hope to have that fixed. It's still not worked out, but there's a risk disclaimer. So this is not financial advice. This is entertainment. I hope you find educational and that you can actually get started with harmonic patterns the right way. For those that are, another shout out quick to everybody that's new. Where you want to go is harmonictrader.com, please, and just get with the program there. Become a basic member. Right there. Everything for harmonic patterns starts there, and then get with software programs like the one we're going to look at right now, which is Harmonic Pattern Collection for eSignal, which I think is the Cadillac version. We've got 6 or 7 programs. If you are interested, really quick, if you want to know a little bit more about Harmonic Pattern Collection, go to harmonicpatterncollection.com and just peruse all of the specific information for all the different platforms that we have. Also, TradingView is on here, is available. And this is through our partner. I should mention this. I don't mention it at all, and I should mention it just so that folks know that we work with the best dang programmer in the industry. And this is over at Senior Analyst, sr-analyst.com. And if you find your way over there, he's got other tools too, but we operate exclusively together for all the platforms. And Chris over there can help you with all technical support. Big shout out to him. So that's, if you ever have a wonder of why you're seeing sr-analyst.com, that's our official partner. That's who I work with for all of the platforms. So let's get into the eSignal platform and let's look at the ETFs. Markets are all over the place, right? Pre-market was down. Nasdaq futures were down a couple hundred, then rallied back. Yesterday was probably one of the most significant days we'll see, with the Dow Industrials up 900, back down over 1100. S&P's not much different, so let's spend a few moments. Couple shout out. I think we got some people. Does anyone know where's the best to look for figuring out the PRZ between levels? There's a great question, and absolutely the the how to figure out the levels and the zones, and that's a really fair question. Um, well, first of all, I strongly recommend that you do it in a two-pronged approach. One, you get with one of the programs, get with the free trial. And if you need more than 2 weeks, just contact me. I mean, if folks know how I am on all of this, I need you to get started. You know why? Because we're not messing around. And once you get with the right tools, with the right understanding, you're on your way. Follow along with what we do, follow along in the Discord group, and then you will soon find yourself understanding the framework and all the ups and downs and zigzags, M's and W's. But let's look at it really quick. How to figure out the PRZ, and you're struggling with the ABCD component. So let's take a step back and you go over to the basic members page, and for all of the detailed information for harmonic patterns, where all of the harmonic pattern foundation work came from, is Harmonic Trading Volume 1 that I released in 2004. There's no other book, folks. Harmonic Trading Volume 1. Okay, I laid it all out for the M's and W's, the specifics with the ABCD variations. So start with that book, download it, and review that. Okay? Why? That's going to show you the details of why certain ABCD combinations work and others do not. Finally, get with review. I mean, here's, thank you for the setup here, because this is a great way to follow it up. Several people have had questions like this, so I'll take a minute to show people how to get started. Your first webinar here is your ABCD, Pattern Basics. So you start there. It's 5 minutes, and you can just scroll through it, okay, and learn the basics of ABCDs. And then get to the M's and W's through the other webinars, okay? Really important. All of that's available. Then match that knowledge up with what you will learn and observe on the software. So if it's the eSignal program, or if we go over, jump here to, where's the Trading View? Let me pop up the Trading View program. I thought I had that. Between the books, the basic membership and the resources, okay, there's plenty to get started where then you can put it together. You're going to realize why certain patterns are failing and others are working. Here's Engine Coin. A couple of small crabs that we looked at that gave you a reaction. Now you have a big crab. Bigger pause, but that's the kind of thing where once you learn how to draw it manually, which we could do quite easily. I mean, it's fairly distinct, where you go just trace out. Do you have the basic points that you can trace out where you get the M and W formation? What's your B point? Well, 1618, that is an understanding everyone should know. Also, the reaction reversal component to the patterns that's as important. Remember, 3 steps to any trading process: identification, execution, and management. Elliott wave, Ichimoku, individual candlesticks, divergence, whatever. You need to have an understanding of your execution, have an idea of where it's going, how much you need to risk, and then how to manage it. Take a look at just the last crab on Engine Coin back from December. Okay, the software showed you the ABCD and XA levels, which again you can figure out over time. Take the time to get to know. But the other aspect of understanding, when we just have reaction category and that's it, I mean, that's as important as ABCD XA and BC levels. A lot going on there. I didn't mean to like go off on 5 minutes on that question, but really important to catch that. So thank you. Appreciate that. Take your time, folks. I know you know what we're really talking about. And I think there's a post that I did a year or two ago. I'll find it and repost it. It's all about the harmonic learning curve. And so how are we going to be realistic of what our learning experience is going to be with any methodology? Try to go to a seminar for a weekend and walk away with, a knowledge that you can trade off of something for a lifetime. That's not realistic. But I think what we're doing with the website, the offerings of the software, and then these sessions, and also the new gold member sessions, will give you all the content you need where it's just a matter of time. Repetition is the mother of skill, as they say. Where are we now within, say, this immediate harmonic framework of S&P 500 ETF, the SPY? Pretty clear type 1 off the shark. The beauty of the software is that if you have a doubt, just follow what the software shows you. You're not going to catch everything. You're not going to connect every dot, but certainly we're going to get the big ones. That's what's going on here. And even our situation that happened yesterday, where pretty crazy announcement. If we take out all the news, folks, we turned off all of the internet news stories and channels and CNBCs of the world, and we just focused on price action. Forget those people that talk in DC and just look at the market purely like this, where we are at an extreme oversold 1618 decline from the December peak. Maybe January, what was that, January 3rd, first day of the year, January 4. We peak out at a 1618, no less. Back down to another 1618. Nice harmonicity. X to B, bang. Right back with another 1618. I think, hey, we know sharks go to 5 O's, target 1's at 450, 886. That's your second target on the shark, by the way. Shark is a slightly different sequence of levels. Target 1 on the shark, 450. Target 1 is about a 50% retracement off of this B to C leg. Can go as high as target 2, which is an 886. Now, today, where are we? Checking back and trying to stabilize, which we are. I'm making great progress actually for an HSI signal. There's a couple things to highlight here. We talked about this on Monday. We said it was early. Now it's not. Now it's in a point where it's go time for Reactionville. 438.77 is 10 off of the low of the 1618 test, and you were as low as the 113 at 419, so you're actually 20 off your 113 at the moment, with target 1 at 450, still another 12 higher. What's going on here that wasn't going on back on Monday? Well, really nice indicator development with your complex structure on amplified RSI. Everyone see the W formation? Now, HSI decided to join with a nice breakout confirmation yesterday despite the craziness. 429.72 has held so far today. I would look at this as still reactionary material, where we know what the complex structures like to do. Give you a W, come out, minimum, go to the 50, and then we'll look for that to come back for the bigger retest. But we are there. We're about to really big shake in yesterday, but I don't, we were early on the confirmation. They tried to break it out yesterday, but we knew this still needed another day. I mean, this HSI was deeply oversold and needed time to get out. Same goes for amplified RSI. We were here on Monday, nothing, expanding. Then we roll back in on Tuesday, Wednesday, try to get out. Today, we hopefully, if we get a strong close, which we probably will, go by Friday, we break out of that zone that relieves the whole oversold condition and your stone's throw away of getting to target one. And we would look for HSI as well, about to break above the 50 level. All of that's really nice in a ideal situation, ideal relative to position to do the continued reaction. And that's, no matter what, that's all we want to do is treat it as a reaction. Go to the 50, maybe it goes as high as the 618 level, maybe 460, but that's we'll keep an eye on that. That's pretty close. I think that's not crazy to lean towards that way, especially if we break out of yesterday's high. We did not. They tried to throw them down yesterday and this morning, last night, and this morning overnight. Check out the overnight action on the 5-minute. There you go. All of that, of everything that went on yesterday and overnight, 5-minute, really nice shark, another shark within that larger zone. Not to mention, yesterday's reaction off of the news was essentially a type 2 reversal off of that bat pattern at the hop. I mean, it was sweet. The SPY has been really a fluid vehicle. I can't explain it other than that, where I've been really getting into this more than the futures. Looking to trade SPY puts and calls, day trade them, swing trade them off of pattern setups like this, especially type 2, confirmation level. The options I find are a little bit easier because, okay, if I blow up a call premium or a put premium, I'll never sell naked options. That's the other important thing, where you're selling the call premium. I only buy puts calls outright. I have to be right. And yeah, some positions will blow up. But when they work, you get sizable moves right off your numbers. We're 442, 443 area yesterday on the 5-minute before all of that nonsense was, that was, definitely shot. And it was, look, there was the one. You took all, the better part of yesterday, goes sideways. Finally, you come back, check out right around the 215, 230 time, and doink. Sell it off. Complete the shark. That reaction's over. It comes back. I mean, it's huge. So for today, what will we look for? Still grinding higher. That's pretty strong. But a couple of HSIs, our last 5-minute HSI, still bearish. So maybe we come back down. Looks like we need to retest a little later today. But you're fighting it. Let's look at the diamonds. No covered calls for me. No, you know what? And I don't. I definitely don't not against those strategies, covered calls of owning the outright and then selling a position against it. I just think there's better, for me, there's what I do with price movement. And my goal is really take the patterns, the framework, reaction, reversal, understanding of where that occurs, and define the segments. And we're all trying to define segments, however we do it, that basically define the parameters of the trade. If you're going to do a covered call trade, and let's say you own Disney, the stock, but you don't like it, and you think it's going to keep going down, sure, that's a good strategy. It's a complex strategy, but I think you still have a predefined profit objective of how much you're trying to achieve, trying to make. No matter what, if it explodes, great. If it doesn't work for you, all right, you move on. For me, outright puts and calls, especially on the day trading side, which I think with the weeklies, the weekly options are dangerous, but if done correctly, can be one of the best vehicles traded. So think about that. Understand options are super tricky. I would recommend starting with stocks, graduating to futures, graduating to options, and definitely doing some crypto, no matter what happens with crypto. So let's get into really quick here. Diamonds, because there's a lot of talk of a major collapse. So yeah. Quick question: Do you have to be a basic member to be a part of the Discord? I ask you to. Yeah, you can. Yeah, go to harmonictrader.com. The simplest question to anything related to harmonic patterns can be answered by just going to harmonictrader.com and becoming a basic member. Just access the resources. If you have specific questions, just take a day, couple hours, 30 minutes, and go through the basic materials. You'll probably find most of your questions answered, but kick me an email. I'll get back to you. I do want to say I've missed a few emails recently because they went to my spam folder. If I don't get back to you within, say, 48 hours, do send me another email, please. Normally I get back to people within 24 hours, but that's been happening, and then I miss emails, and then people are like, oh, you're blowing me off. No. All right, let's go to the diamonds on the weekly. So what's the problem? It's scary, is the problem. Probably the scariest decline since the COVID crash. The diamonds were, let's look at the 1 minute chart on diamonds yesterday. Okay, I really, there we go. There's 930, gap up, and then essentially, that's a remarkable amount. You go to 348, down to 338 within that 8-hour period. Remarkable. That's amazing volatility. And then the 4-hour time period of this extreme up and down. Definitely takeaways to consider in this environment are the fact that these massive swings can only be captured at specific targets. No matter what, you continually see reaction reversal dynamics, folks, in all of the pattern setups that we're looking at. So that's navigating whatever you're looking at. If it's crypto, if it's futures, ETFs, we still want to assess everything from reaction reversal dynamics. The ABCD here on the 1 minute in the diamonds yesterday gave you a nice reactive move, went as high as target 2, but that was it, and formed an ABCD as it did so. It doesn't take much for me to get the heck out of that position when I see back-to-back patterns. And look what happens. If you're here with the ABCD, you're still thinking only target one, and not surprised when you see, hey, perfect reaction to target one, come back for the retest. Now we can think about coming down for the full looping retest of that ABCD. And what do? We do a couple crazy, we do a shark before that. A lot of zigzags. I think it's, I'm not saying you're going to catch every one, but what you do and what you find yourself telling yourself is, where am I in the pattern? For example, going into that announcement yesterday, and not that I think you even need to trade crazy announcements like yesterday, but what's here? Into that and what's possible. And 1 minute chart here. Here you go. Let me blow it up. Check out the precise. I mean, it's fairly exact. I would say you have an amazing type 1 situation, right exactly to 346.04. I think it was '05 was the high. Now comes back. You would be targeting, no matter what. If it doesn't follow through on that target one, you would anticipate the retest, which was 345.48, 886. So then you're in a type 2 situation right at the announcement or before the announcement. Not that I'm going to be trading that, but that understanding of where you are in that position, 1 minute chart, that you're here at 345.50 and you're on a 1 minute targeting a point higher as a day trade is significant. But still, look, there's your confirmation to end the type 2, because that's what you did. All the same signals. No matter how crazy this environment, you have to take that into consideration. These are a few examples that yesterday was dramatic. I did feel like Monday wasn't maybe the full crash I wanted to see, but almost was. Almost really flushed it out. Now, where are we going to go on this? Because the diamonds have been stronger than the other markets. Dow is still holding up. I still say this has a lot of reactive behavior. We're still in a major reaction. I would wait for the next HSI. There's your downtrend. I think I did mention this, that the next technical event, harmonic event, we want to see HSI to pop out, just like we saw on the SPY. Real nice complex W formation that has stabilized on the indicator. That's positive, but it's going to take more time, folks. We don't want to get crazy over enthused just yet, but that's a lot better than it was on Monday. You're really not losing any time. I mean, you were here, okay, Monday, 2-3 days. Now we're breaking out. Minimum expectation there. Go to the 50. That could take a long time, or it could come back within 10-15 bars, but this is fitting within what we would want to see this do by tomorrow's close, Friday. Just be up a little bit, just get a close above the high. Would even like to see this get above your 345.70. I'd love that to get above, back into the zone here of target 2 zone. Then you'd be looking at a retest. If that's the low, this gets confirmed. Kind of a situation where it's coming together. We should see an arrow. I don't know if it's going to happen today. We've got to watch this. Your HSI on the daily reading is only 755. It has to be 11.3, above 11.3 to register that official reading. That's I need to see a pink arrow generate, any kind of arrow, HSI arrow it would be. I don't know if it's going to do it today on that bar. The diamonds on a again 5-minute basis for today, gap up, not a lot of follow through. What's going on up here? Take a look. Another retest of that bat, much like S&P. The only way I'm going to really play this is go HSI arrow to HSI arrow. Last HSI arrow was bullish. Excuse me 1 second, please. All right, thanks. Let's go. Now, I'll go over to crypto. I'm starting with the major indices today. This is what we want to watch into tomorrow's close. Hey, we roll over and we go back to retest these things. Then you're a situation where everything's going to take more time. And we know what that means. More time means stay with the predominant direction until we get triggered and signaled otherwise. Let me bring this up. Need to fix the patterns here. Is the 5-0 there? No. I'll come back to this. I just want to be aware of what happens going into the close on HSI. Yeah, it looks like we're rolling over even a little bit. Now 660. The 4-hour time frame, which is not a bad idea to be looking at that fractional level. Check out, we mentioned this, I think, on Monday, the crab pattern. This is 4-hour. So we're hitting target 1 at 345.92. Cannot follow through. And it definitely is 345.92. Don't round it up. The close, it would have to close above 345.92. Otherwise, what has to happen? Type 2. Go confirm that thing. Hit it one more time. Let me take a look. Yeah, I don't know why that's not coming up. Let me fix my time template. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. Why is that not coming up again? HSI. We really just need to know that the reaction that started the day before, on Tuesday, before that announcement, is not following through. So I just want to look at these levels. If we don't close above that today or this afternoon, 345.92, you're going to have to watch out for the rollover retest. Let's quick look at, you guys are, what's up? How come I don't select the strict ABCD setting? You can. There was a comment about the pattern settings. This is mostly for the pro version. TradingView version already takes care of this, but yeah, I can have it selected, the strict ABCD. What does that mean? Well, that would set specific tolerances to only show those ABCDs that are fit exactly within, plus minus 3% in most cases. But it's selected, so bang, there you go. What is the ideal 0XA ratio that you follow for sharks? Oh, that's a great question. And it's something that I don't focus too much on. Okay, back up. I do focus on it, but I haven't included it previously to the extent where I've distinguished that point. What's the meaning of it? Let's go to the shark. Let's go back to that SPY shark. Because here's the SPY. Here's that shark. The question is, here's a shark pattern. and you're seeing 0XA. Looks like this. This 0XA is different on the shark. Why? It's not an M formation. So you have your 0 point that's in most cases quite distinct. Now 0x A, and then B is at a higher point than X to A, but can't exceed the 1618. That's something that distinguishes it as well, because you could start tracing out any formation that satisfies it, but if it's not within the ratio limits, you don't have anything. Now the question is, what's this value? And does that matter? It does. The reason why I haven't featured it is because it usually falls within a 382 to 618. There's not a lot of possibilities on the shark where the retracement, you go from 0, X, and then A, okay, is usually 50 or 618. Sometimes a 382, but what happens is it doesn't show up in your zone. If your A point doesn't line up properly, okay, your zone is usually going to be skewed here, where we know we need an AB 1618 minimum. So this extension, okay, that has to be a 1618, the minimum. And then your retracement of your 0 to X point, we know that has to be minimum 886. But what happens? You have the shark, but take a look at where it comes into play. Your 886 is the first number in the bullish zone. Now, this also helps to clarify, how do I know when to use the 886 or the 113? It all depends on your 1618. So, got to get the 886 and 1618 right. It relates back to that retracement as well, but without needing to be labeled. If 886 is above the 1618, we will expect overspill, maybe as low as the 113. Doesn't have to go all the way down there, but we'll expect it to, full retest. That 1618, okay, only works because this A point did not go down too far. That retracement was still made the structure valid. And our 886, let's take a look one more time. Those are the two key numbers that define the zone. We utilize the 113 as a kind of an ancillary layered number. Thanks. Regardless, okay, if your A point here was not, it was too deep. Okay, let's say your A point right there came down, much lower. Then your 1618 would only be pushed lower, closer to the 113. We would favor it below the 113 anyway, so it's pretty much built in. The final point of the shark, so there's no ABCD in the shark, but there is. We kind of back test it in a way, where if we assume the shark turns into a 5-0, which it does in most cases, this is where the AB component comes in. Our A to B level, that sets up our estimated, what we call reciprocal AB to CD, where we take that distance, project it, whatever that extreme point is, C, to give you the C to D estimated move. That fits also closely with target 1. So we kind of back calculate that, the 5-0 of what that possibility is, but that's still the maximum possibility on this setup. What's that tell you? Reaction. One moment, one moment. Okay, real quick, let's jump over to Nasdaq, and then I'm going to get to the crypto. And if you guys have a few, ladies and gentlemen, have a few crypto you want to look at, you can pop them in now. Here's the Nasdaq really quick. Well, all we have is an ABCD off of this prior peak, kind of sloppy. You do have HSI, but you're no reaction, just a harmonic pause, not able to bust through the zone. Forget everything else. Let's just talk about what it's doing relative to the zone, and then you can get a feel of what's going to happen. Big, beautiful ABCD structure. Hits the zone. Does not give you confirmation until under 14,000. Listen, the ABCD was at 14,600, and then you're confirming all the way down here at 13,950. And what do? Off of that, you get register and check back. So even in this failure, which is characteristic of most failures will go sideways before they fail. Something to think about. Where the zone, unless it's going to blast through the zone, the common failure is hit it, go sideways, and then continue lower. Unless something develops, whatever, you do have a check back here, but we don't want to see this thing do one check back, two check backs, what, three check backs? That's not. I'm a little concerned on that. If you can't even get up to a target one here, then we are still defaulting to the larger patterns we talked about on NQ. Not much here. A lot of devastation so far this month. And where's the pattern? Where's that crab pattern we had? Now the software is not showing the pattern. Again, the pattern we had at 12.8. I'll go over to that in a moment. Let's go to the QQQ because I think it's been good to look at these ETFs, get that other perspective. I mean, devastated, it's 886 off the swing. Go to the weekly. This is the other thing I want to talk briefly about, and I'm going to get into more next week. I showed the all-time Nasdaq retracements, that futures chart on Tuesday. I want everyone to start thinking about what happened since the COVID low. And look at those retracements, because I think we can all agree this is the easy money COVID phase that prevented a much more severe bear market. And this would be your reset value. Essentially, if you fail, you come back, you do 382 retracements on all these. Let's say we don't find anything. Don't find any support. Nothing here. Then you've got to look at this a little bit differently. And basically the whole move from the COVID low to recent high, 382 pullbacks, nothing. And even you have some oversold conditions, but you're deeply oversold. So you're sitting here on SPY or QQQ, folks. This matches up. We talked about the futures. I don't know why it's not showing up, but we had a crab pattern that was 12,880. Let me get the index, or let me do the Nasdaq 100 index. There you go, the weekly. Daily. I don't know what the heck's going on with that daily HSI reading. Still an oversold. And even spending the last several days here, not doing much. We have a failed Gartley on, that's the index itself. I don't look at this too often, but because the indice action tends to overshoot a little bit. That's what happened here. Now this Gartley at the hop, I mean, if you're going to hit a hop and reverse off a hop after exceeding it, you don't spend more than 2 or 3 bars down there. This is bar 7 on the 4-hour chart. There's a lot to assess there, folks. This thing is not where you want it to be to look for a reaction. And it could spend another day or two, but certainly the levels are clear. You take out the lows. There is nothing underneath the prior lows, 13.7. I would say forget it. You go to 13, under 13, well under 13. I'm not there yet. I just want to keep a close eye on it. Look at the monthly chart. Okay, largest candle we've seen since the beginning, quite frankly, since the lows, all-time lows. Here's your all-time retracement, again, on the index. Looks like that. The 2 levels that I mentioned before, the 236 level, matches up with a couple of patterns we mentioned, 1618. Here's your all-time 236. Goes back to 2002. And yep. 12,950. Again, this stuff takes time no matter what. We've got the end of the month on Monday. So you have this interesting aspect of running in. You have this week's close. You'll have one day next week, which will be the end of the week in terms of a weekly bar, a monthly close, and you're going to clearly take out 6 months, 7 months of lows. Anything under 14,400, it seals the deal on a monthly, probably quarterly basis. And amazingly, remember, okay, the COVID crash low was 67.80. That's incredible. So this is at stake as well, where you are. Let's talk about a little deeper retracements of just since the COVID action. You do have a 382 minimum off that COVID low at 12.9. So if you're floundering at 14.1, 14.2, 12.9, 13,000 is not out of the question before this thing gives you something more substantial. Hate to say it. I think we'd be higher. If this was going to bounce and go, we'd be higher. But it's not. Couple more. Banks are dumping securities at bargain basement prices in those zones. Maybe. I think next week we'll spend more time on Shark 5.0 relationships. Another good question. Is the trade setup invalidated when the hop is exceeded? I would say so. Now, tell me what happens at the hop. Hop has been a phenomenal level that complements the zones. It's critical with understanding reaction reversal dynamics, but we can see it. This is somebody just asked this, so I'm on the fly here. Show you the last couple of examples. Tell me what happens when the zone and the hop get hit. Do you have individual reaction? Do you have immediate response? I would say so. Even look on the retest on your type 2, because that would be considered type 2. Hits the hop. Now once you hit that hop, look at how this is the correct behavior for the hop. 1, you don't overshoot it by much, and 2, you're immediately responding. That's a 60-minute chart, folks. Great question. That's the character you want to see. Or let's go to the last one, the prior chart to this one. On a bearish side, here's a crab. There you go. There's a crab. All right, take a look at that. You hit the zone for the crab here, but it does nothing. Goes sideways, starts leaking, leaking, breaking out above that zone. What's that mean? More time. And for this, that's a regular crab, so that's kind of unusual. Normally on regular crabs, we want to see a 618, really reverse at the 618, but hits the hop, can't follow through, rolls back over. Only a reaction though, but it exhibits, even in that reaction, still exhibits the kind of behavior you should see at the hop. It hits it, maybe spends a bar or two, but can't follow through. Let's jump over to this crypto. 10-year yield melting down. All right, really quick, because that would be a good follow-up and segue for. Sorry, let's do this. Let's do ZB instead. 10-year futures. Also the other. Oh yeah, there's 60-minute. But what did we hit the? We were really close to retesting some big patterns. There you go. Okay. Forget that deep crab, because I think that's still premature with. Let me remove it. I know we were looking at a bunch of patterns that were retesting again. So this is a T-bond futures chart, and this is coming off of a pretty big daily pattern, scraping the low. This is as a kind of a follow-up to the last question about the hop level. Tell me what you see at the hop, right? When you're looking at a big pattern like this, it can be a daily, 5-minute, hourly, but look what happens when it hits the hop. It hits the hop, okay, right there, bang. What's the next bar do? No follow through. Bullish candle. What's the next bar do? No follow through. Starts to make progress. Now this is still some chop in here, but this 154 level, I mean, that's life or death for the whole thing. And by definition, we should still be looking for this to do a reaction up to 159. These are bond prices, so bond prices go up, yields come down. What's that TVC was the other one we were looking at. TVC, that was the ETF. No, that wasn't it. What was the one? There was another. I'll go over to the other platform. TBT. Yeah, that was the coupon ETF with the 10-year inflation adjusted. Yeah, pro shares. Go to the weekly. This was another long-term weekly. Yeah. Remember, prices go down, yields go up. Prices up, yields down. Well, looks like we're trying to break out, but let's keep an eye on that one. Maybe Monday. Let me give me a chance to go through all the ones we reviewed. It was about 2 weeks ago. Are these yields going to continue lower? Sorry, are the prices continue lower? Are the yields going to go higher, or are we going to at least kind of come back and alleviate the immediate situation? We could have a retest. Let's get over to the crypto. Crypto. Yeah, go to volume 1, folks. That's Harmonic Trading Volume 1. Absolutely where you want to get all the information for the details on pattern basics. Crypto. Well, we talked about that there was at least something with Bitcoin. around 33,000. That was the 886, and we had a hourly crab pattern down there. Let me go bring it over. So we had a bounce. Thank goodness, right? At least that 886 gave something on Bitcoin where we got out of the zone, got out of that this hole, if you will, at least for the moment. It's still not over. There you go. There was the hourly chart we showed on the Coinbase feed. Thank you. And this is a close one, folks. It's amazing how this happens, but look how this reacted off of target one, right? And that's Coinbase. So target one was 38,871. I think it was just about exactly that. And I would say that this reaction is over. You're coming back down for the retest of what you'd want to see is a reversal, but I'm not there. You know, I would, your hop level is 34,606 for BTC, and again, show me HSI's got to do something. And look at what it just triggered. You know, you had a double test up here, and now you're rolling back down. So beware on crypto. It still has work to do. 4-hour chart, same deal. Actually, the 4-hour chart's more, it tells us a lot more. Why? Because we had HSI. I mentioned this on Tuesday, the reaction, and we run right into this bearish HSI that can only be resolved until we have a full retest of that prior low, or we get another oversold reading, which is all right. You it has to be lower, but you want to see that now. I mean, you want to see it come down, retest, and then start to build off of something. Daily time frame also the thing to think about for the weekend. We have, depending on your database or your data feed, we do have this HSI that triggered on most of the major exchanges for Bitcoin. It got oversold is what it means, and it trying to stabilize. Let me check one or two of the feeds. There's currency.com trading. The Bybit feed has it. You're actually in the process of checking back now, which is the other thing to consider. Depending on where it triggered on your exchange, Binance was at the low, and that's around 32.9, trading 36.3. So some kind of retest probably needs to develop here on the daily. And if you were looking for this thing to stabilize, if you're not looking for this thing to stabilize, which we know the deal, and we kick it over to the futures chart. Here you go. Yep. I mean, oh, daily. It's on the daily. So let's just isolate the bullish pattern that is still the zone. It's still the number. And we're 2 days, 3 days later from, really almost hitting it last week or over the weekend. Probably would have been best if we would have hit this. It's something where we'll have to just see it when it happens, and I'll be able to really, it will kind of show itself is the way to think about it. Why? Because there's something about hitting this level that we have to hit the level. We didn't hit it on that candle. I never like to see that. I don't like to see it fall just shy and then do some kind of reaction. Inevitably, we're going to have to retest it. You're this close and we have nothing else. We're going to have to hit that, or even that. And it doesn't matter if it's 30 or 31, or if that was, 89,000 whatever. You're just within the framework of, one, two, come back down in a major way, and then tell me if it's here or if it's as low as the hop at 22.5. It's in here that I'm looking for that signal. Not here. It's not here that I'm going to get in confirmation. And I hope I'm wrong, and I hope I would miss it and it just, Bitcoin does something dramatic, but it's not. That's not. And that's something everyone's been fighting, where here, November 1st, stock to flow model said 100,000 in a month, or even back here. And that's where we got to fight it and just say, look, framework, price levels, show me where it needs to be to satisfy the conditions. And that's here, with the possibility of hitting that level and kind of triggering something else. Let's go to one more really quick, and then I'll get to your requests. Is Ethereum, of course. There you go. Ethereum hit as low as 2,200. Little dead cat bounce, but nothing. Take a look. Your HSI, that's at what, 2230? No, 2160. So still want to see that retest. Check back. Let me see here. We don't have even amplified out of the zone yet with Ethereum. Look, we do have that W formation. This will end up being a complex structure, folks. I mentioned this Tuesday, though. Still needs time, and it's only going to be treated as a reaction. No matter what comes out of here, just reaction. I don't think it's even triggered that quite yet. I would want to see the HSI come back and that level get retested at 21. Call it 2140. This is just consolidating. Not in the best way either. Your weekly chart on Ethereum, I think, take a gander quickly. The major pivot points. I think we can all know that pivot point's toast. Everybody's looking at the 1700, 1800, and this is really the immediate swing that you get retested. You probably just want to go sideways, but 886, even off of that, is 2130. So anything below there, well, then you start dipping down. Someone asked about the shark a little earlier in our discussion today, and I wanted to show a situation where you could connect the dots and say this is potentially a shark, but the B point does not come together. You could potentially say there X to A to B, and your B point's at a 62, but it's kind of deep. Why? Because your C points gives you a long segment, where that if it was a shark, well, you would need a minimum 1618, which is all the way down here, 1200, and your XA is a 1234. That's not really a number, but it's beyond a 113. And I wanted to mention this just as a follow-up to where this is a situation where your 1618 and your maximum 113 aren't coming together. So I'm not really too keen on the fact that that would be considered a shark of any magnitude. But it does have your 0xAB considerations, but doesn't line up. I just want to look at the 886, get to 2000, 1800, whatever on Ethereum. It's been a tremendous disappointment, maybe more so than Bitcoin. This thing is supposed to be really at 6,000 by now, and it's not there. Yeah, you got to say 886 is at 2,000, folks, on Ethereum. All right, take a couple requests. One per person, please. So, yeah, James, I'll look at. Oh, really quick, you got me on the Tesla. I'll look at Tesla really quick. I think Tesla's setting up where it does some kind of major 8 ABCD or off the top here, get ready. There you go. I mean, hey, when Elon was selling, what were we doing? I think I sent him the email. I told him about this. I said, Elon, look, crab pattern. So here's a chance for you to get out of the market and burn the burn. Which he did. He sold it at 1618. Way to go, Elon. That's all that is. A type 2 crab on a weekly. So, where does Tesla go? I'm not worried about it. I would, in fact, I'm thinking this is an opportunity. You want that, lower that comes, the better off you are. 800, folks. Something like that, minimum. You hope it gets down there. I don't think it will spend much time down there, but clearly you're only talking about in a maximum perspective, connect the dots. Yeah, maybe that's a potential bat pattern. At 610, I'd be surprised to see it down there. We'll know pretty soon. I'm looking at that as an opportunity coming up. And we'll know at the 618. Like it's around 800 bucks. Talk to me when we get to 800. Okay? Now let's get over to the crypto. Crypto requests really quick. I know someone asked earlier, XRP. Here's the follow-up of XRP, folks, that we mentioned. I'm actually warming up to it. It looks devastated. It is. But this is a good kind of devastation. A good kind of devastation is where you slam into your numbers and then you pause and you stabilize in a good way. Immediately terminal bar +1. This is a Gartley as well because your B point's at a 618. It got down as low as the 886, but I don't expect this thing to get too deep. That's 62 cents. So you're at the point of where the inflection should be happening. Tell me what's going on. Are we oversold? We sure are. There's amplified RSI, folks. Green line just stopped. We just entered into that zone. You're early, but that's the link up you want to see. Now, I know things look scary, no doubt, but I want to start looking. FTM. I know a lot of people asking me about that one as well. FTM is held up. I mean, well, it got its clock cleaned, but still not more than a 30% correction. But here you go. FTM. Phantom. I think I talked about this last week when it was up there at 3, saying that this can't get through the 886. This one, Cosmos, they're very similar. And let me show you the difference between an 886 failure and an 886 successful retest. Take a look at the current situation. That's weekly, probably daily is a better time frame to look at. You have your minimum 30 bars to look at. Last time we looked at this, it was something like this. 886 was targeted at 330, 325. Right there. Hits it, cannot get through. Gives you a pretty strong reversal. And then a 1, 2, 2, 3 days later, you're much lower. You're past your 382. So as strong as that looked, no. And that tells you more time. If not, go swing back to the prior pivot 886. Wouldn't be surprised to see that. Minimum 618, which you've already hit that at 190. Needs more time. Do you want to sit in something or try to get into something that needs more time? No. If you know it needs more time, you need to wait. Otherwise, you're you're going to have to wait anyway, but it's going to cost you money. That's what I would say with this. And look at the swing 886s even on the best of trends. And this is clearly trending aggressively, but you're going in chunks, if you will. You come up, you hit that on your first thrust, and you still have to spend some time resolving that range. That's what's going on with all of these. You come up, you retest, you're back down here. You got to resolve the range. Did I just screw that up? I don't think so. Hold on. I think I screwed it up. Bear with me. Thanks. So let's let's just look at the best ones in that respect. And if it breaks out, good, but not in this current environment. You're getting too much response off of this this trading between the pivot levels. If you know you're range bound, which you are at a minimum in your best case scenario in most of these, you have to respect the fact that that's the work it needs to do. Here's one, Gala. Okay, this was somebody, I heard a lot about this before it came out, and it shot through the moon. And I was like, what the heck is this? Where, you look at that, and it's probably the best situation of all, because is this Binance? Yeah, it was Binance and Coinbase, where this was fairly new, comes on those major exchanges, does its massive markup ramp. I don't know anything about it, but hey, that's pretty impressive. Now, what do you think? Full reset to the 886. That's the kind of situation where in your worst case scenarios, you're going to the 886. In your best case scenarios, like Phantom, you're going to the 50 minimum. A couple more. Couple more. Cardano. Back at $1.02. All right. I think you have to. All these guys that say if in doubt, zoom out. Okay, sure. Tell me what's happening here. Tell me what's going on and what are the clear levels. I would not really want to jump in front of that. You could get a reaction, and that could bounce maybe back to 120 or 130, but the bounce move that should have happened should have already occurred. Not to mention, I would rather see this bounce go sideways and break out of the downtrend before I could expect that to really get going. In the same way that we saw that last year. And this is where trend lines can be your best friend. That's it. I'd want to be to the right of that breaking out pretty clearly than trying to fish down here and go through a lot of chop. One or two more. I do need to get back to it. I think the market's going to probably drop into the close. So let's see. Our gold members special? They sure are. Gold members are going to get a kick-ass presentation from me on Saturday, and we're going to fire up the new gold member sessions starting next week. So Saturday, everyone, all the gold members can join me. You know who you are. If you're not a gold member, find out how to get a part of it. And if you're not a gold member, contact me if you think you need to be set up. If you purchase the program, most people should be set up. We caught up on that yesterday. Probably. One or two more. I'm thinking a couple requests for stocks again. PLA USD. me see here. All right, that'll be the last crypto. I got a feeling that's at an 886, which is like all of them. You're either at an all-time 886, which you are. Yep. And this one isn't even on too many exchanges. Yeah, I was looking at this earlier in the year. Looking for this to do the full 886. And you're there. I mean, forget the scam that wick, but look, that's 93 cents. You're underneath it. So, you have to, once you get there, we need to see some kind of other confirmation signals, trigger signals, which is the other thing slightly different about what's going on now versus other times, like back in June or even September. We had some signals. We had confirmation signals by now. So I'm not seeing that here. I think we have to wait on the numbers for total crypto market cap, for Bitcoin, for Ethereum to go down and retest lower levels. The big numbers with some kind of confirmation. Things like this, these S coins, maybe they'll go sideways. And a lot of them are already retesting, say, the 1.0 level. For this, I think there's a lot better markets to be traded and considered for now and for a long time. If you want to look at, say, the top 30, top 50, avoid the top 10 because I don't think you're going to get the moves. It has to come after we see Bitcoin at least do something. If it doesn't do anything here, then it's not going to work. These won't go anywhere. All right, one or two more. I'll go back to the other pro platform because I think people want to look at a few stocks. What do we have? The earnings today. Now we're down 75, huh? Down 71 on Nasdaq. What's that? Hold on one second here. Let me switch this. CRISPR. Oh, Apple was the other one. All right, let's go back to the platform, TradingView platform for Apple. It hasn't changed. If anything, when we see something like Netflix, you have to take note that, all right, these are vulnerable. Apple on your daily time frame, remember this? It's the big crab, and we're in a type 1. We did trigger, what was it, 2 days ago? Our first HSI on the downside. Here we go. Bring that back over. 146.79, folks. And even if we were to check back at 154, you still need to do that. This is where a lot of the big ones are not in the right position to really get this market moving yet. And Apple's probably one of the top 3 or 5 to watch. Keep an eye on that one. Here's another one, CRISPR. Is that Casper or CRISPR? I think it's, what were you saying? CRSR. That's CRISPR, right? Again, if you look at Corsair Gaming, I don't know. Yeah, there's not much there. Look, if you want a major gaming stock, look at Las Vegas Sands. Look at LVS. That'll give you a perspective of what's going on. Major, look at those patterns going up into this, but I think maybe we should spend Monday looking at some of these others because they're not there yet. Yeah, Corsair Gaming, even those smaller stocks, I think you want to be looking at what's happening at the top 50 more than anything else. Absolutely need more time. You need more time with all of this stuff. And in doing so, it's not ready, capital's not ready to be deployed. I need to see some more signals if I wanted to really jump on this. Much like the same way, I want to see Bitcoin hit 31,600, 31,599, and then tell me what's happening. In the meantime, the only thing working for me right now is crude oil, and maybe natural gas is ready to run again. Some of these refiners, folks, just the doing amazing things. Keep an eye on it. Here's one other one that's been spectacular. Altria Group. And I posted this Gartley several weeks ago, back in November. And I think it was, check the Twitter feed, go back to November. And this is one of many that are, kind of the sleeper, bigger cap stocks that really tradable no matter what the market's going to do. Keep an eye on all of these. One more. This is one I wanted to outline is Micron Technology, which was a big type 2 retest on the ABCD, big double top. The only support that we have on Micron is coming back, retest this zone, minimum 76, if not as low as 71. So you see a lot of these bigger players showing you they need to go lower. Here's another one that I posted. And, this should make you somewhat happy. Pfizer on the weekly. Let's see how we get the close tomorrow. It's trying to bounce today, but that's a big pattern, folks. And we're in a type 1 reaction, but still working its way down. So, hey, if the, sponsored by Pfizer, right? The last 2 years have been sponsored by Pfizer. Well, that should, if we're changing, and this is a good sign of things changing, no matter what, Pfizer should do a type 1 reaction and continue to go lower down to that reaction. Keep an eye on it. Disney, yeah, weren't we looking at that? That's a big pattern down there. Here's Disney. Was a bearish pattern coming down to the two targets. There you go. Disney, come on. Disney looks like this. Yeah, I think it's 124 is the second target, right? Give it a second. It's loading. Really slow. Maybe it was a weekly crab? Hold on. Yeah, I'm looking at Disney. Oh, that would help. Let's get some bearish patterns up. I think the daily pattern was the one we were focused on. Yeah, that was it. And we're still in type 1 reaction. Look, here was the check back. I think that's where we left that a week or two ago, looking for the check back and what it do. We started looking for possibilities in here. What's it doing? Not stabilizing. So within the larger framework, I would say this has possibility to go to 121.69. I'm still looking for what could develop off of here for a return move. Again, this is a daily chart. You're going back a couple years. This is a longer term swing type of situation. But that at least, we were up here knowing we were looking for reaction. And now, well, certainly not yet. And if anything, I'm favoring 121. Look how deep that HSI and amplified are. I mean, that's going to take a lot more time to get out of the way. Brutal, right? Couple more. SLV, sure, that's the silver ETF. We were liking those, still are, but they're super slow. I mean, 20 to 22 in 3 months. I just don't know if it's, a place to be trading. I mean, unless you're scalping. I know folks that are trading the metals markets in a very specific way, where for them, the metals markets are predictable in terms of knowing that the chance of them going crazy in a black swan situation, good or bad, is unlikely. So if you have a degree of certainty on your segments and you're trying to scalp 10, 15, 30 cents, something like that, maybe that, and do it on size, maybe that's a way to really bang it. But this shows you, look, you're type 1, you're type 2, and you do nothing. There's your type 1 reaction, comes back for type 2. So this just shows you that you're not doing much. You're responding nicely. Those are great trades, but you have to, I would say, automatically take them off at the targets because you're not going to get much more than that. Okay. Gold's the same deal. Even though gold's down, I'm not too concerned about it. We're still consolidating. Yeah, the miners and things. Here's GLD if you want to go there, or the nugget miners. Look, that's just so 162 on the downside, 172 on the top side. There's not much for me there as a trader. I'll look at it on an analytical basis, but and again, if you're a long-term holder of gold, I still say gold's up. Gold will go up, continue to go up, but it's not going to be spectacular. And then you go to, I don't know, your nugget miners, your junior miners, same deal. Maybe that moves. That's a terrible chart, but again, you're looking, if you want to dabble in gold and you want it to move, well, look at the nugget instrument, but still don't expect much. One or two more. Yeah, the Peloton. How about that thing, right? Talk about full reset. So this is I'm going to finish it up here. Peloton's a good one. Let's look at this. Name that pattern. Connect those dots. Right? Check it out. There's X to A goes up to there. Right? Come back down. There's your A to B. Bang. Let's take this segment. That's your A to B segment. Project it down. C to D. Your minimum ABCD is around 38. Take your extreme, high to low. You know what one I'm going for. Okay. Now, your B point here is closer to a 618. Pretty important to realize that typically sets up for your 886 because both your ABCD is lower. If that's a real Gartley, you would want to see it almost exact. But even the ABCD is right on top of the 886 at 36 and change. So tell me what's happening. Not that I want to be buying right here. Just tell me what happens there. Not much. Not even a pause. Day 1, 2, 3, straight down. Look, not anything I want to be a part of. And until you get out of that zone or the daily. And I bring this up because there are a lot of these. All right, on the daily there, all right, there's something on Peloton, but you're still below it. There's a crab at the hop level, no confirmation, 2880. I would need to see something more. In fact, that's not what I want to be seeing out of my patterns that come into that basically start up here at B point and gap down into D. That's difficult. And when you do see that and it continues lower, you just step aside. There's ones like that, and then there's ones like this that, take a look at Chevron Texaco. Just Chevron. I keep saying Chevron Texaco. It shows you how old I am. Okay. This one on an amazing tear, trying to break out all-time new highs. All right, with a massive Gartley at the hop. Remember, we started today. Someone was asking about the hop level. Does that mean it's invalidated? Only when it's exceeded. So this will be for next week. We'll look deeply at the whole crude oil situation, because what should be happening, if it's going to fail, what should be happening is a blowout. I mean, this is different than blowing through it above the hop. So next week, into the next 2 weeks, I want to see crude oil. If it's going to do the breakout now, it has to blow out these numbers. Otherwise, we'll go into a pause. It's super strong up into the zone. All of them are doing that. It's different than what we see in most other markets. There aren't many markets that are really trying to break out to new all-time highs. Here's XLE, the energy ETF. It's got a few hop levels up here, 64, 67. Pay attention to this. What happens here will define what happens for the next 3 to 6 months. And we'll do that on Monday. As far as crypto, we know it's going to need more time. Don't be surprised to see it lower. I'm not really favoring too many things at the moment. It's a tricky time. But we want to line up the larger structures. I think there will be opportunities at slightly lower levels. Things like Disney, folks. We were looking at 140, so if it goes to 120, so what? I'm still looking for the opportunity. So we'll get into more of that on Monday. I think crude oil, really important. We'll see what happens. And then crypto, again, I think let's get out of this month, please. Everyone, let's run. Let's run to February as fast as possible and try to stabilize. Otherwise, we're going to have to think about something else. So that's what I have for today. Thanks again, everybody. Just quick, want to go to the basic members. And here's the Discord group. So go down and scroll down. Get with the Discord community, folks, where this is available free. Got, a great group of people in there posting all of that. 262. Yeah, we're getting there. Over 1,000 members. And then if you have more information on the gold membership, whatever, you can send me a note. But get to me on the Discord. That is by far the best place where I'm able to get to people most readily. Have a great weekend. We'll catch everybody back here Monday at 11:30. And gold members, I'll see you Saturday morning. The link is on the calendar and you will be sent a note. Until then, go get them. Have a great weekend.